All right, we're here joined today by Joey Logano, driver of number 22 Shell Pennzoil Ford Fusion. Joey, we just had an event with TMS President Eddie Gossage right out there by Fuzzies. Can you tell us one more time about 811 and what we were doing out there? I don't know where our...
There we go.
Oh yeah, there we go. No, so anyways, Shell has been a big supporter of 811 here for the past few years, and they're on our deck lid here, and this is April's National Safe Digging Month, and basically what 811 does is you call before a project at your house, whether it's a small one like putting in a mailbox or putting a fence in, or put a new pool in. You call, they come out, they mark all the underground utility lines, and make sure you're not the guy that's putting the power out on the street for everybody. So it's the right thing to do for sure. And you never know what's under there, just a couple feet. So they come out, like I said, they mark it, and before you start your project.
All right, and what is it about the Flyaway to Phoenix sweepstakes you guys are going on?
Yeah, so that's coming together in Phoenix in the fall race, and they're going to have a little sweepstakes, and one fan's going to come out to Phoenix and get to watch the race out there and get a little VIP trip out there. So that's starting here fairly shortly, and I'm excited about it.
Awesome. Well, I guess now we'll take Q&A and general media availability. Got any questions? Over here.
Mark Arrow, PRN. Clint Boyer once said it was really fun to watch, as long as he's not involved, two guys get into it. And what's your thoughts on Brad and Kurt and all that went on at Martinsville there with your teammate?
At least it's not me this time. It happens. I mean, I know it. We like I say all the time, we race against each other every single week. Eventually, we're going to run into each other, and eventually, we're going to get aggravated with each other. It's just how you reason with it and how you get over it. Everyone has their own way of doing it, and there's different ways of doing it. But I'm sure those two are two champion race car drivers. They're gonna figure out how to get over it and move on. I'm sure fairly shortly. So. But that's part of our sport. I think it's cool. It brings a lot of excitement to what's going on here, and a lot of people. I know Eddie Gossage likes it. I was waiting for the boxing gloves and the Kurt versus Brad thing here, but that didn't happen this week. But it's part of our sport. I think it's part of any sport. So those rivalries are there, and it's real.
Louis Frank of Reuters. NASCAR may be reducing engine horsepower next year. What do you think of that concept, and how do you like racing? Would you like racing with less horsepower? Obviously, on bigger tracks.
I'm all for more power. I think that's like any guy, right? They just want more power. So anytime you hear someone take away power, you're not excited about it. So I think something that's cool about Sprint Cup racing is we got 850, 900 horsepower in these things. That's pretty badass. So I want to, obviously make sure we have that. And, but either way, we just got to make sure we put on a great race for the fans. Whether we have, 3 horsepower or 900 horsepower, make sure it's a great race. And, if that's the direction we have to go to put on a better race, then so be it. But at the same time, I'm not sure if that'll be the answer or not. But, we have to look at every option we have and figure out what we got to do to make the best.
All right, we'll go over to Alan.
Alan Cavan, NASCAR.com. Goodyear and NASCAR, they maintained that any tire issues back in California, that was on the team side. I know Penske dealt with that. Did your team go back and look at those tire issues, and do you have any worries coming into another mile and a half like this?
Yeah, we have we're concerned this weekend for sure. For when we get out there, this new package, with the added downforce, the added load on these cars, we're going faster. it puts a little more strain on these tires. And this is one of those racetracks that if you run on that white line, you're catching some of that apron. And we really think that's what was blowing the tires out. You have a lot of camber, and then when you put it down on the apron, it's basically like adding more. And then it blows out, the shoulder of the tire there. So, with that, they added left rear camber. Also, that's what, you start doing that in low air pressures for a while. It starts to, break away the tread from the sidewall there. And, yeah, it's a concern this weekend for sure. We're definitely concerned about it. And I wouldn't say it was all the teams at California because, every team had it. I think there's, 5 of them at one point there. So, I'm sure Goodyear goes back and looks back at it and figures out what the answer is to make sure we don't have that again. But, obviously this is the first, like you said, faster racetrack we've gone to since then, and you're going to have a concern. It'd be kind of dumb if you didn't have a concern coming into this.
Will you dial back the aggressiveness, if you will, in the setups or however?
We'll see how this practice goes here in a few hours and see what it looks like. But, there's different ways that we can, like you said, dial it back, whether it's from behind the wheel or in the garage here when we're setting them up.
Jennifer, AP. Joey, were you guys in California aggressive or on the edge with recommended air pressures?
Yeah. I think it was field wide. I think everybody was being pretty aggressive there. Where we wanted to be, and because the advantage on the long haul is there. So we're gonna be aggressive there. In the race, I think everyone came up a little bit. Everyone was trying to tune things down, and our car unfortunately broke a gear, but we didn't have an issue in the race. Whereas in practice we couldn't run a 15 lap run. But in the race, we ran some, 30 lap runs, 25 lap runs, or something like that, and we didn't really have any issues that really frightened us. That we thought maybe someone else would have an issue before us. So, we when you blow out 2 tires in practice and your teammate blows out 3, you look at what you're doing first, right, and what your team as a team you're doing, and then try to fix it, and then hopefully that's enough for the race.
Do you want that freedom? Do you want teams to be able to decide which way to go and be aggressive or conservative?
I don't really want to blow out tires because it hurts. So I'd rather have something that's a little tougher tire that can handle that stuff. But it's such a hard thing. See, I got to go through Goodyear, their factory over the off season, and see how they build these things and what goes into it and how they engineer them. And to build a tire for what we're doing is very, very, very hard. Because here we are as drivers, we want more grip, we want a softer tire, we want a tire that wears out, and then we're putting so much load on them with these heavy cars. It's almost impossible to do both. So it's very, very difficult to make that happen. And they're always constantly adjusting on their blends and constructions and what they're doing with their tires. So, it's not from a lack of effort on their part. I promise you that. They're trying really hard to get a lot of really smart people over there. But our cars ask a lot out of a tire. And, I got the most faith in those guys that anyone can have, and that's why I try to help them as much as I can, is give them the best insight of what we're fighting. And I know as Team Penske, as a team, we give them all the information we possibly can to help them make decisions when, they're back at their shop.
We'll go to Reed.
Reed Spencer with NASCAR Wire Service. Goodyear's bringing the zone tread technology to this race. They also say they have a left side tire that's a real known quantity at this point. But in toughening up the right sides, is there any sort of concern that an issue might migrate to the left, and is that really your concern on the left sides?
I don't think that it would change what the left side's seeing. I don't believe. It's probably a better question for them. They have a lot more data than we get as teams. So I don't think so. I don't think that drives the issue. I think the issue comes from, like I said, run on an apron or having a lot of camber at low air pressures. I think that's where they have the separation issue. I don't believe the right side tire is going to change what we got on the left side for that particular issue. There might be a different issue I don't know about that may pop up or may not, but I think for that particular issue, the right side tire shouldn't have anything to do with that.
We'll go right here.
Matt Weaver, Popular Speed. 6 races, 6 different winners, a little bit of parity. I know we really haven't seen 2 tracks of the same ilk yet, but if this continues on for another 10 weeks or so, what does that say about racing right now, and is that good for the sport?
Should be good for the sport, right? You got a lot of winners. That means there's not one guy dominating, that's for sure. And I think it's good for the sport to have multiple winners. I really want to be on the list right now. I feel like our Shell Pennzoil Ford's been really fast at every racetrack. California, I felt like we had a winning car. We did at Bristol also. We had a couple, failures there. And in Martinsville last weekend is a track that's been one of my tougher racetracks in the past. And we had a second to fifth place car all day long. So I'm proud of the speed we got. The win's right around the corner. In all honesty, I feel very confident about this racetrack. This kind of plays into our hand as a team. We've always been good at the faster, bumpy, wore-out racetracks, and this is exactly what that is. So I can't wait for practice to get this weekend started.
Hi, Anton Warner with Quanford TV San Francisco. Looking ahead, any thoughts on preparation, getting ready for the Sonoma Raceway road track?
Yeah, we do some road course testing coming up here fairly shortly, and try to get that going. And I enjoy getting to go out and run road courses, and especially Sonoma. That's it's such a tough racetrack because you're trying to bolt down, like we were saying earlier, 850, 900 horsepower with these narrow tires, and then you're trying to get them to stop and turn all at the same time. It's just the cars aren't capable of doing everything you want them to as a driver. So as a driver, you have to start crutching it and start figuring out what's most important and what you're going to give up, what you're willing to give up to gain what you need, or what you feel like you need to race well. So we'll start testing here shortly and make sure we get some good packages for when we get there, because this new rules package this year without the ride heights is going to change that quite a bit. And you saw last weekend in Martinsville, I think that was probably the place that this rule change stood out the most as far as the ride height stuff. So I think you'll see the same thing when you go to Sonoma, Watkins Glen.
Any more questions for Joey? Nate.
Nate Ryan, USA Today Sports. Just wondering, with the Final Four in town, are you going? Is there going to be a group going? And what's it like, I guess, to be not play second fiddle, but to know that you're in the same market with something that's kind of the big focus of the national sports scene next few days? I
just know I'm racing. I don't really care about any other sport too much. So really, it's I'm here to race and win a race, and whatever they want to do shooting hoops, they can keep on going with that. They don't need me there. No. I'm focused in on trying to win a race. So I feel like if I leave the racetrack, I get distracted, and if I don't run well, that's going to be the reason why. So I'm not going to give myself an opportunity to have an excuse.
Go to Lee.
Do you know offhand whether or not the backup car you pulled out at California Speedway was your Texas primary or your secondary car?
It was my primary car.
So what were you racing this weekend?
I don't know. It's I tell you what, that car we pulled out in California, we started the race, and really, if they didn't tell me they'd switched cars, I would never have known. It drove exactly like my primary car did. Everything inside was exactly the same. And really, I don't keep up with what car numbers are at, and because they're all the same. The Team Penske does such a great job of making these cars. When they find a new spec, they build them all the same, and from the inside out, they all feel the same. So I don't really put much, insight into what car I want to race or having a favorite car, because really they're just numbers, and they're all the same. And I know if we raced that car at Texas, it was fine, but we can't turn it over that quick to come back here. So it's a different car than that was planned to come here. I know that, but which one it is, I don't know. Yep.
Right there in the middle.
Dustin Long, MRN.com. Joe, you talked about, to Nate's question about not going to the Final Four, not wanting to leave the track to be distracted. Is that a philosophy you've kind of always had, or is that something kind of part of the learning process through the years, and why so, or how did it come to this point of I've got to stay at the track to keep my focus?
I've probably taken that to the extreme over the last 2 years. If you're looking to be the best, you got to work harder than everybody, right? You got to figure out how to be better. And I mean, I'm in the garage so it closes all the time, just to be with the guys. If something comes up, I can help them with some answers, help them with some setup stuff, and I'm also, the more I can learn about the race car and what direction they're going with changes and why they're doing it, the better information I could feed back to them to make sure whether it's the right or wrong answer for a car. So the more involved I am, the better I feel about it. And like I said, it limits that opportunity to have an excuse at the end of the race for me. So I know if I tried my best and tried my hardest, I'm not going to be mad all weekend if we don't run well, or all week the next week if we don't run well. So, and I think it gives you the opportunity to run better. So I made the commitment to go out here and win championships, and that's what I got to do.
Is that something you did a little bit more when you joined Team Penske?
Yeah, I'd say for sure. I've definitely stepped up my game there, for sure. I'm being more prepared, getting to the racetrack, and working harder once I'm here. Thank you.